Welcome back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register. Today we are broadcasting from the RREA.com studio in Spring, Texas. We've got a lot of real estate news to bring you. This segment, I'm talking with Mike Mengden. He is the broker and president of Terra Residential Services, Inc., and they do property management, something that we don't do at RREA. So we're going to have fun talking about what he does for a living. It's interesting, and he's still a broker, still a real estate broker, and they have a little bit different rule book than we have for residential sales. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So welcome to the show, Mike.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Thanks for coming on with me. So I know what you do is very different than what I do when we sell residential and commercial properties. But you manage residential properties. Do you manage commercial as well?
No, just residential. Strictly single family.
So you work with a lot of landlords and a lot of tenants.
Yes, tons of them. Yeah, we've got like 400 houses we manage, and that's over 220, 230 owners. And
you guys, so y'all are all over Houston?
All over Houston.
So do you manage any in Galveston?
No.
Okay.
That's a little far.
A little far. All right. Yeah. So let's talk about what's going on in the rental market first. I know that prices were on the rise for tenants for a while, and everybody wanted to be a landlord, and the prices of houses went up. Right. So I think that's going to slow down a little bit because everybody wanted to buy an $80,000 3- to 4-bedroom house, and prices went up on them, and they can't find that anymore. But I think that the rental prices have continued to go up, but I think they're going to level off soon. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think we're getting to a spot to where we've been rising so much the last 3 or 4 years. Something's got to give somewhere, and so I think we're going to be pretty stable this year. We're not seeing a downturn yet. I don't expect it to. Up here where you are, when you're getting closer up to the Woodlands, in that part of town, once the Exxon campus gets finished and the road construction with 99 coming through, I think that area is going to explode. I think people have been holding off. In fact, the rental rates in Woodlands and stuff have actually been flatter than some other areas because people have been waiting. But I think that part of town is going to really go up. But I haven't seen any problems with people saying, "Oh my God, the oil industry is having problems, so we're gonna have a downturn," and I'm seeing none of that.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. That's what I like. So let's talk about what you do, because it is a little bit different, and I feel like, let me ask you: at what point does a landlord need to switch from managing their own properties to using a company like yours to manage their properties for them, or should they just never do it themselves?
That's a tough one, because some people are geared right to do it, and they can handle it for themselves when they have a few properties. Once you get up into the 3, 4, 5, 6 range, unless you really want to be bothered by that stuff, you don't have the system set up. We've got the system set up. I talk to agents all the time that are trying to manage 5 or 10 houses, and they're going, "Oh my God, it's a nightmare." And I'm going, you don't have your systems up. We can manage hundreds of houses easily, or fairly easily, because we know what we're doing, and we know we've got different systems. So if anything happens, we know how to react to that. And so for an individual owner, once they get into the 3, 4, 5 range, it's probably getting a little bit heavy for them, unless they're wired to want to be doing that type of stuff.
A lot of the landlords that I work with, the first house is fun. It's a learning experience. It's a lot of fun. They don't mind the tenant calling them. They get to know them. Not a problem. The second house is manageable, but by the time they get the third one, then they're ready for a property management company.
Yeah, that's
third
typical.
One's kind of the breaking point for a lot of my investors.
We see that a lot. We'll see them coming in, and their first statement is, "I've been doing this myself," and we know, okay, you've had enough.
So what's the process for somebody who's out there listening, and they're at that point, they've got 2 or 3 rental houses, they maybe want to buy a 4th one, and they really need to switch over to property management? What do they need to do?
Call us.
Just call you,
and we
have
a little
paperwork?
little bit of paperwork. Unfortunately, the paperwork is a whole lot longer than it used to be, so it's almost like buying a house. It's like 20, 30 pages of stuff.
Wow.
But it's and at that point, we tell them that all they have to do after that is pay their note. We handle everything. Yeah, they keep the mortgage up to date. Different management companies will do different duties. Ours is full service, so we do everything. All they have to do is make their note payment, and we handle everything else. We become the contact with the HOA. We handle leasing the property. We handle repairs, we handle screening, we do everything. So they don't have to do anything for it. We even give them a 1099 at the end of the year and a year-end report that they can hand to their CPA, and they're done.
And that outlines all the repairs that were done on the property.
Yep.
Oh, that's so easy.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier than it used to be.
Why would anyone not do that? Why would they manage it themselves?
They think they're saving the money from not paying the management fees.
So what does the fee structure look like?
It depends. Every company is different. There's people like me that do we go off of a percentage of the rent collected. Mm-hmm. Other companies do flat rate.
Okay.
You can go into different types of fees. You can charge a leasing fee if you lease. Mm-hmm. You can charge a override on repairs if you do repairs. You can charge a bunch of fees to the tenant. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways to set it up, and it just depends on so it's really hard when a client calls and a potential client calls and they say, okay, what's your fee? Because
you don't know what they're comparing you to.
Right, and there's no way to compare until you say, okay, wait a minute. Are you talking to a flat fee person that then is going to charge you per repair or per fee, whatever they do, you get a charge for, or are you going with somebody more like us that just charges a percentage and you don't get the extra fees?
I would imagine that you have a lot of clients who buy a new house, which you don't usually buy a new house to be a rental house, but if they buy a new house and they can't move into it for whatever reason and they rent it out, it doesn't need many repairs. It doesn't need much. So that would be pretty easzy to handle. But after a few years, then I would think they'd be ready to hand it over to
Absolutely.
someone like
and then you've got the other problem of when you start working with the warranty company. Mm-hmm. When you buy the new house, if you've got issues, you're going to have to work with the warranty. Or if you buy a house, regular house, then you have a home warranty on it, something like that.
So you guys work directly with the home warranties
Yes.
when someone purchases a new property.
Right.
Do you recommend that while they are holding their rental property that they keep a home warranty on it?
That's a personal decision. You either like insurance or you don't.
Okay.
And some people like it, some people don't. It's a different set of rules because I've seen people say that, well, my home warranty company is my management company. And they try to treat it that way. They get the tenant to call the warranty company, and we're going, you can't do that because a home warranty company is an insurance company, and you're making a claim every time you call, and they don't fix everything.
Right.
And they don't fix everything on the same timetable that the tenant laws may be under, and so you can't always use them. So there's those things you have to think about. So it's a pretty big discussion when we have an owner that comes to us that has a home warranty on the place.
And what recommendations would you make for a tenant who's looking for a property?
Check out your landlord.
How do they do that?
Well, for management companies, it's fairly easy. They can get on the internet and check it out, see how long they've been. You make sure we have a license, which is new to our industry. A lot of management companies before 2011 didn't have a license, didn't have to, only if they did leasing. And so just because you have a management company doesn't mean you're going to do the leasing. So a lot of people didn't have a license. So now they have to have a license, which means the tenant's protected by the real estate recovery fund, just like on a sale.
Okay.
And so you're dealing with things of just check them out. Look at their experience. See what they do. See if they're involved. See if they get the education. See if they've been around, if they use good forms, that type of thing. That's the main thing they can check.
So check out your landlord. Don't just take the property because you like the property.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and it is a big thing when you rent because you want to make sure when something's messed up, they're going to come. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you have a flood, you want somebody to fix it.
And that's usually when we get the phone calls from the clients. Okay, I'm tired of the 2 o'clock phone calls. Please handle this. And we've got systems for that, so it's not a big deal for us. But for other people, it is.
And for tenants, you always recommend that tenants keep some sort of insurance coverage on their own stuff.
Absolutely. And most tenants are worried about renter's insurance because they say, my stuff isn't that valuable. And I keep telling them that the important part of renter's insurance is not for your stuff, it's the liability, because if you burn the kitchen down, the owner's insurance will replace the kitchen, and then they're going to subrogate against the tenant.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good to
That's
know.
that's the part the tenants don't get.
All right, real quick, let's talk about some legislation going on with the rental industry.
Okay.
Tell me what's going on with some bills that have been proposed.
There's been a couple of proposals this year. There's some housekeeping things through the Real Estate Commission, which is nobody really cares about on the outside. But there's a couple of them that are hitting on the one about rental registration. A lot of the little companies don't like a lot of little cities are starting to do rental registration, but it's basically a fee grab by the city because they're not doing anything for it. So there's some legislation that's trying to be proposed to curb some of that. And the other one that's coming up is Section 8 housing. There is a move They tried to do it years ago, and then they're trying again to make Section 8 housing a protected class for source of income.
I don't think financial can be a protected class, can it?
Not yet. So they're trying.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully that won't get passed. All right, Mike, if people out there want to contact you either because they're a landlord and they're tired of being a landlord and they want you to do the property management for them, how can they contact you?
The easiest is on our website. It's terraresidential.com, Terra. Or they can call us at 713-895-9966.
All right. Thanks so much, Mike. We appreciate it. Mike Mengden with Terra Residential Services, Inc. We'll be right back here on Houston Real Estate Radio.